Boop, boop. You know, at some point when I have like 25,000 viewers on each one of these videos, I should make a t-shirt that just says boop with me, with like a finger pointing. Hey, this is Arash, San Diego-based photographer, host of Burner Podcast, founder of Justified Hype Creative Collective. My daily-ish vlog, number 19, I think, maybe. I am driving again. Tisk, tisk. I am driving to North County, where I have a quick little headshot appointment with an awesome friend and collaborator. She's a public information officer for JBW Communications. And originally we were going to do everybody's headshots all in that same day that I was like photographing their team doing like action shots. But I suggested, hey, since we're all like friends and comfortable, how about I just, like charge for that one day and I get everybody's headshots separately. Funny enough, everybody lives in North County, so now I gotta drive to North County like 17 times. But I just figured it'd be like a good opportunity for us to like legitimately connect and spend some one-on-one time together. Because the headshot is not super complicated, but it has been my experience from doing I don't know how many professional headshots I've done at this point, that the energy that people bring to the headshot is a lot more important than the skill that I bring as a photographer. I mean, 1 mile. Okay. I was listening to the directions in my ear. So let me clarify what that means. I do know what I'm doing. Oh, it looks like it's telling me to exit right because there's traffic. Thank you, Waze. It's finding me a faster way there. I love Waze. I've done enough of these at this point where I know what I'm doing. I know how to move the light around and move the subject around and get them comfortable and break them out of their whatever their comfort zone is and all that good stuff, and to get a sharp and in focus image. And I know what works. I know like you need to look into the camera and smile. I've said this a few times. For dating apps, it helps to like look off to the side and be just a little bit mysterious. But for statues. That's a truck up there with some Burning Man statues in the back. Like bronzy metal-y stuff. It looks like they might have fireproofers. What did the statue say to the other statue in darkness in the middle of the night when they couldn't see each other? Statue! Okay. So anyway, headshots. So anyway, I know what I'm doing. Like, they're not complicated. They're not high art. It's more about the person feeling comfortable being with me and all that kind of stuff. So the energy they bring is more important. I need them to be in a good mood. I need them to feel good about their day. I need my subject to not be sprinting from appointment to appointment. It can't be the thing that they've squeezed in somewhere there. Unless like they've done 1,000 headshots and they're already like in media and they don't care. Most often it has been my experience that people haven't had a headshot in a while and they're feeling self-conscious and a little vulnerable. So I have learned that it's very important that I get them in the most calm and playful and happy energy that I can get them in. And then that's when I start moving around and moving the camera around and hitting the shutter. And eventually one of those in-between shots is that perfect overlap of a moment where the most sincere individual rises up past the superficial avatar that they've controlled and carefully curated in order to walk around in physical reality and interact with the rest of us humans. That's the kind of stuff that I'm exploring when I'm taking photos. It's very rarely just like, oh, light, oh, cool shape. It's usually like every time I take a photo, it's most often something like deeper like that. That's the kind of stuff that I'm exploring. Where do I find the universal truth? Where is that one moment of absolute transparency and honesty through the makeup and the hair? I could talk about that for days. So anyway, heading up to do a headshot. Posted a photo of myself on Instagram. Not really, like, I'm not on social media anywhere near as much as I used to be. I think Facebook is doing more harm than good. Instagram, I am on because it's like a sketchbook for me. I can put photos out into the world, and the reason that that has value to me as an artist in development is that I think the energy of a piece changes when we create it and we release it to the world for other people to engage and interact with. And so when I put up a photo on Instagram and it only has, like, whatever, 50 views and 20 likes or something, it's not doing much for my, like, career. And it's also not particularly likely that somebody's going to see that photo and say, hire that man, like that is yet to happen for me. Every little bit of connections open up some other connections, and somebody messages and something comes out of it. But, like, it's, I don't have, like, that huge of a following to have that big of an interaction. But what it does do for me is it somehow changes the way that I'm seeing the photo itself. So, like, the way that I see the photo on my phone and on my computer, when it's on Instagram and there are other eyes on it, something shifts. And I'll notice parts about it that I didn't notice before. Just even, like, this past week, I put up a photo that I'd taken of a friend who has braids and dreadlocks in, and somebody commented, cultural appropriation. And the thing is, like, I liked the photo. I wasn't super wild about it. As soon as I saw it, I was like, oh wait, they're actually not crazy about the editing and everything that I did. And then like 2 people saw it, and, like, the third person left that comment. I'm like, and I deleted it right away. Was not even something that I really thought about. And it's funny because, like, the person that left a comment, I had no idea that they were even following me. It's an old acquaintance from many, many, many years ago. And they've had zero interaction with me. They've given me zero positive anything. They've never liked anything. They've never commented anything. Any interaction we've had has been quite short. And then out of the blue, out of nowhere, they leave this comment. Which their feelings on it did not upset me. I always want to hear feedback. I never want to run away from the difficult conversations. I think that running away from difficult conversations, I think is I was going to use the word cowardly, and I don't want to say that it's cowardly of everyone who does it. I think different people have different emotional things that they're processing. For me, knowing what I know and the level of confidence that I generally carry myself around with, and the way that I like to run into the fire as an artist and creative person and an intellectual explorer, it would be cowardly for me to run away from it. The reason I deleted the photo is a general policy that I have, which is this. It's the same thing I've always told, like, younger artists. No one is allowed to censor you. No one is allowed to censor you. Fuck you. Nobody is allowed to censor you. This is very important. If you're ever taking a piece of art down because you're feeling censored or bullied, you should absolutely push back. What I take down, what I look at in a situation like that, and I ask myself a very simple question. Do you feel like fighting for this? That's it. When you create a piece of art or you put something out into the world, maybe it's a piece of writing, maybe it's a painting, whatever it is, do you feel like fighting for it? Is it important to you to keep fighting for it? Or would I be fighting for it simply because I took the photo of a person who happened to look the way that they did and made the decisions that they did? It's one of like thousands of exposures that I've taken in the past month. It's one of many, many, many photos. When I first started out, if I was like, I only had like a handful of photos that I liked and I felt proud of, and I was really proud of this image, and I really wanted to like make a statement to the world about the fashion choices of this individual, sure. But this was not that situation. I didn't feel like fighting over it. Being divisive doesn't fuel me. Standing up for this or this thing that, this is a long conversation to explore, but the long and short of it is, yeah, I didn't feel any sort of emotional motivation to fight for this particular image. And if it offended one person who felt a personal connection to those feelings and felt more passionately about it than I did, for me, it was just a no-brainer. I was like, delete. I've had another photo in the past, and I actually wrote about that one. Long story short, it was the photo. It was a photo that was like absurdist cultural humor. I was making fun of like the conservative views of Mexican immigrants, and it was meant to be like, the photo was really ridiculous. It was staged to be ridiculous, and we took it, and everybody who saw it loved it. It deeply offended one person on social media that I posted it, and this person said, yeah, I really love your artwork, but I find this image problematic. And I was like, delete. It was not something I felt passionate about fighting for. There are images that I will feel passionate about fighting for. Like, for example, I'm pretty proud of these portraits that I had of a friend who was trans and in transition. And I thought they were really beautiful images, and this person was really willing to be vulnerable and legitimately like nude in front of the camera. If somebody commented something about that image, I would fight for it. I would say, no, that's staying up, and here's the reasons why. And no matter what my opinions of you are and where you're at in your personal journey, I'm going to hold a safe space for us to have that conversation. I would fight for that. That was like an example of something that I would fight for. Absurdist humor photography? No, I don't really have much of that in my portfolio. It was like a one-time thing. Tried it. It entertained some people, but it didn't really move me to keep creating. The stuff that moves me, it has a unifying energy. It brings people together. I want people to look at something and go, this is beautiful. This person is beautiful. The interaction between these people is beautiful. Their connection to the nature and the environment that they're in is beautiful, and it's moving me, and it's making me look at people outside of my own personal circles and really see them as human. That kind of stuff is what moves me. But an image that gets a bunch of likes because it was skillfully crafted and humorously constructed and was only entertaining to one particular group, or divisive, that stuff doesn't do it for me. So it's really easy for me to just go delete. You know what I'll do? Take another photo tomorrow, and another one tomorrow, and another one tomorrow, and another one tomorrow, and another 500 tomorrow. The cure to perfectionism is prolificity. To be prolific. Prolificity. The cure to perfectionism is prolificity. That's what I always say. Okay, I am arriving at Swami Beach where I'm doing this headshot. Love you all. Ciao. Boop.